The Whispering Bones. In the bustling city of New Orleans, where the echoes of jazz and the scent of gumbo filled the air, a most unusual and fascinating case landed on the desk of forensic anthropologist Dr. Lydia Fontaine. Known for her unparalleled expertise in unraveling the secrets of bones, Dr. Fontaine was no stranger to the macabre. However, the mystery that awaited her this time was unlike any she had encountered before. It began with the discovery of a skeleton in a forgotten corner of the city's historic French Quarter. Construction workers, renovating an old building, stumbled upon the bones buried beneath the foundations. The remains were sent to Dr. Fontaine's lab at Tulane University, where she and her team set to work piecing together the story hidden within the ancient skeleton. The skeleton was remarkably well preserved, and as Dr. Fontaine examined the bones, she noticed something intriguing. The bones bore strange, intricate carvings, delicate patterns etched into the surface, which were clearly not the work of time or natural forces. These markings seemed almost like a script, a message inscribed on the very framework of the individual. Using advanced imaging techniques and 3D modeling, Dr. Fontaine and her team meticulously mapped the carvings. They consulted with linguists, historians, and cryptographers, trying to decode the mysterious script. It was Dr. Fontaine's colleague, Dr. Rajesh Kapoor, a linguist specializing in ancient languages, who first identified the carvings as a form of early Creole, blended with symbols from West African languages brought over by enslaved people. The discovery pointed to a specific period in New Orleans history, during the early 18th century, when the city was a melting pot of cultures. Dr. Fontaine hypothesized that the carvings were a form of communication, possibly a ritual or a way to preserve a person's story and lineage. As they delved deeper, they uncovered a name, Aminata. With the help of local historians, they traced Aminata's origins back to a woman who had been enslaved and brought to New Orleans from Senegal. She was known in historical records for her wisdom and healing abilities, often sought after for her knowledge of herbal medicine and spiritual practices. Aminata's bones told a tale of resilience and survival. The carvings were her way of leaving behind a legacy, ensuring that her story would not be forgotten. Through forensic analysis, Dr. Fontaine identified markers of physical stress and injuries consistent with the harsh conditions of slavery, but also signs of a life that had moments of freedom and agency. The final piece of the puzzle came when they found a descendant of Aminata still living in New Orleans. Her great-great-great-granddaughter, Marie Toussaint, had always heard stories passed down through her family about a powerful ancestor who had been a healer. Marie was brought to the lab, where she saw the bones and the carvings for the first time. Tears welled up in her eyes as she felt a profound connection to her past. Dr. Fontaine arranged for Aminata's remains to be reburied with the honor and respect she deserved. The city of New Orleans held a commemorative ceremony, celebrating the life and legacy of Aminata. The carvings were preserved digitally, ensuring that her story would continue to inspire future generations. The case of Aminata's Whispering Bones became a landmark in forensic anthropology, demonstrating how science and history could come together to uncover the hidden narratives of the past. Dr. Fontaine continued her work, ever more convinced that every bone had a story to tell, a whisper waiting to be heard.